From our studio located in Madison, New Jersey, this is Real Good News. With Lisa Allen, Tommy Nonamaker, and Alan Swanson. And now, for September 30th, 2024, here is your Real Good News team.
Hi, I'm Lisa Allen, and I would like to welcome you to our first episode of Real Good News, which covers news for Morris and Union counties. This is the first of our bi-monthly series, and we look forward to having you join us on this exciting new endeavor. This week's news highlights include a lot of good news around Morris and Union County. In Parsippany, Morris County's biggest town, the mayor and Board of Education president agreed to put down their swords after publicly fighting about impending pilot projects and the revenue share associated with them. PILOT, which stands for Payment in Lieu of Taxes, are tax incentives for developers to develop properties that may be financially burdensome to develop without a tax abatement. However, pilots also reduce the amount of funding for local school districts that would be raised under traditional tax collection. In Parsippany, the mayor and Board of Education did not meet initially to discuss the school getting any funding through the pilot, and the public argument intensified about funding for the schools. The Board of Education wants to make sure they get their share of the pilot revenue so the school district can be prepared for incoming students. On the topic of education in New Providence, and according to Tap Into, the school district presented their plan for the use of artificial intelligence, AI, by teachers and students at the Thursday, September 26 Board of Education meeting. The New Providence Superintendent and Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services also explained that the district's policy regarding cell phones and smart devices. The district approved an AI policy this past summer and have added an AI component to the professional development for teachers. This fall, the district has begun a pilot of the Magic School program for students. The Magic School program is a teacher-controlled platform, and students are given specific guidelines for using AI in the classroom and on their school-provided devices. The platform offers multiple use options, both for teachers and students. AI is used to enhance learning, and students are instructed in the responsible use of AI. The district gives students traffic light guidance for AI. Red light does not allow AI use. Yellow light gives teachers an option to permit students to use AI upon request, and green light assignments allow students to use AI. When using AI, students must follow assignment expectations and remember that they are responsible for final products. Students must also give credit to the tools used, avoid entering personal information, and ask teachers if they have any questions. Another item addressed in New Providence is the policy regarding students using cell phones in schools. The district's current policy regarding cell phones in the middle and high school is working. High school students must turn their phones off and keep them in their backpacks during school. Middle school students must keep their phones off and in their lockers, and elementary school students who have smartwatches must have them turned off at school. Superintendent Zerpoli in New Providence noted that she understands that parents may wish to contact their children during the day, so she advised parents to call the school office and the staff will relay any messages to their children. In Morristown, advocates for changing the way New Jersey conducts its elections showed up and spoke out during a recent council meeting. During the public comment section of the meeting, several people urged the Morristown Council to consider supporting a statewide bill that would allow ranked choice voting. Ranked choice voting, which is utilized in other states, allows voters to rank candidates in order of preference. first, second, and third, and so forth. And according to fairvote.org, if a voter's first choice doesn't win, the ballot will move on to the next choice. Municipalities would not be able to implement ranked choice voting on their own. This process must be something that the New Jersey State Legislature would have to vote on. So for more information on what happened at the Morristown Council meeting, check out the Tap Into story.
Hi, I'm Tommy Nonenmaker. There was a lot of exciting news coming out of our schools this week. Hanover Park High School's theater department is setting the stage for a magical autumn. They are thrilled to announce that they will be bringing the Wizarding World to life this fall in the highly anticipated high school version of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, now on Broadway. With rights released for high school just this year, the Hanover Park High School theater program is ecstatic to be among the very first schools to bring this spellbinding tale to the stage. Save the dates for this production and make a plan to go see it. They will be performing the production on October 24th and the 25th at Hanover Park High School. In sports, we have some really good news in both soccer and football. Hanover Park beat Parsippany 52-6 this weekend under the Friday Night Lights. This makes the Hanover Park team now 4-0 and undefeated for the season. Last weekend, they had another decisive victory when their quarterback, Joey Borello, led the team to a 21-12 victory over Glen Ridge. Summit High School is also 4-0 and undefeated in football this year. More on them on our next show. The Whippany Park boys soccer team is having an amazing season. Currently, their record is 8-1-1. Senior Brady Reese has been leading the scoring in game after game. This week, they beat Morris Tech 3-1. They also beat Morristown Beard 4-2, and they beat Sussex 7-2. The team is on fire, and they are definitely a team to watch. Union Catholic High School alma mater, Sydney McLaughlin Levroni, and Olympic gold medalists had a series of welcoming home celebrations. In Dunolin, her hometown, hundreds of people braved the weather to welcome Sydney home. There was a huge celebration in Columbia Park, where people came from far and wide to celebrate her. All her fans were able to take photos and get autographs. She was also honored by her high school with a brand new banner that was put up for display in the gymnasium. Everyone is so excited to have Sydney back. Welcome back, Sydney.
These are some of the headlines making news in the last 2 weeks. Study: many toxic chemicals enter blood via food packaging. Scientists just discovered how many chemicals in food packaging can leach into humans. These headlines are all related to a report released on September 17th in the Journal of Exposure Science and Environmental Epidemiology. The title: Evidence for Widespread Human Exposure to Food Contact Chemicals. The reason these headlines are so important is that this is the first comprehensive evaluation of the chemicals contained in plastic food packaging and contained in some blood samples of most humans. What did the researchers do? They took the list of thousands of chemicals known to be used in the production of plastic used in the food industry. They then looked at multiple studies of chemicals found in humans. They discovered that as many as 3,600 chemicals in plastics are also in humans. The bad news is they found 79 chemicals in food packaging and in humans are known to be toxic. These chemicals are known to cause cancer, genetic mutations, endocrine and reproductive issues, and other health concerns. If you go to any major supermarket these days, you are confronted with a huge amount of plastic packaging used to hold most of our fruits and vegetables. It is this packaging that contains the chemicals found in our bodies. Even single items are often contained in their own wrappers. A great way to expose your fruits to plastic packaging is to cut it up and place it in its own package. Or my favorite, the organic produce section, where nearly every organic item is placed in containers made from oil and chemicals. How does this happen? Don't we have regulations? Doesn't the Food and Drug Administration authorize our foods and packaging to be safe? The answer is GRAS. Not the stuff in our yards. The GRAS stands for Generally Recognized as Safe. This term is applied to items in our food chain that end up in our bodies. The problem is the sheer volume of chemicals and additives, including in that food chain, is beyond the capability of the FDA to test. What was the solution to this problem? Of course, it is to allow the manufacturers of the chemicals and additives to declare that their researchers have determined an item is generally recognized to be safe. Great for the manufacturers, but perhaps not so great for us, the consumers. Here are two plastic containers, usually encountered in most kitchens. They're identified on the bottom as being microwave safe. Now, we know from many studies that heating food items in plastic increases the leaching of the chemicals in the containers to the food. So the question arises, who decided the container is safe in a microwave? Microwave safe for what? The food container or the food that goes in it? If I take this item and I place it in a microwave and heat up something, it will look pretty much the same. The problem is, will the food I heat up in this container now have chemicals used in making the container? Now it's time to ask, what does all this mean? It means that each of us has to take responsibility for determining, are the foods we consume safe or not? How do we do that? Read the labels. This is a problem. First, the food additives are often just identified as added for color, preservatives, artificial flavors, and on and on. Second, the packaging contains no label identifying what went into its production. Third, try to buy produce that is not in plastic containers. Use produce bags that are not made of plastic. And when you can, go to farmers markets and buy local. Fourth, move away from plastic in every way possible. Use refillables. Carry your own containers to your local coffee shop. Carry your own leftover bag. And finally, what should we ask our leaders to do? The most important thing we can do is enact regulations that require manufacturers to identify the chemicals they are using to produce our foods and our packaging. There is some promise in this area because the article that we're talking about has prompted legislatures to start taking a look at this issue. The real good news is that this knowledge is power. And with this knowledge, you could go out and advocate for change and be healthier. Thank you.
Now, here's what's coming up in our area. Madison's annual fall festival, Bottle Hill Day, will take place this Saturday, October 5th, from 10 to 5. This is the 49th anniversary of the Bottle Hill Day, since it was first established in 1974 by Mayor Elizabeth Baumgartner. The Rain or Shine event festival spans over 6 blocks, including sidewalk sales, 4 stages with live music, 3 amusement areas, hot and cold food and drinks, and over 225 vendors. In conjunction with this event, the Madison Chamber of Commerce and Madison PBA will be hosting their annual Madison Car Show. Thank you, Tommy and Alan. This wraps up our news segment for this week. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you on Real Good News.
For news tips or story ideas, email mortonveldproductions@gmail.com. Join us on October 14th for our next edition of Real Good News. The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the presenters and contributors. While we do support a diversity of perspectives, they may not reflect the views of the entire team. We encourage open dialogue and welcoming differing viewpoints. Real Good News is produced by Mortonveld Productions. For Real Good News, I'm Diane Kirsch.